Hi, my name is Nella from Amigurari, and today I'm going to be discussing how best to optimize your workplace. So let's start. I'm sure we all have felt that the pressures of speeding up, and we're often being told that we have to optimize our productivity and maximize our efficiencies. So as we count down the days until the end of the full restrictions, which hopefully comes to an end in 2 weeks, a lot of businesses and people are questioning how they will meet all of these demands and what will the return of an office look like. Will it be exactly as you left it pre-lockdown, or will businesses be adapting what they have learnt over the last 18 months? So many businesses are wrestling with the same question. JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs say 5 days, Amazon, Apple, and EY say 3 days, KPMG say 2, and then you've got Google and PwC and Facebook who are currently undecided, but have said that the hybrid model is the way forward. So only time can tell what the right answer is, and if there is actually a right answer. But what we do know is that technology is constantly evolving and the demand for sustainable operations is ever increasing. Every aspect of our lives are undergoing this digital transformation, which has been accelerated by the pandemic. So to understand the future of offices, we really need to understand what individuals want and need from their workplace. So many of us have been yearning for that social interactions with our colleagues around the coffee machine. It's that face-to-face interaction, a place to collaborate, a place to build a culture and reduce occupational costs, and potentially reducing commuting times. And most of all, having reliable IT features highly on the priority list. What is also evident is that the health and well-being is a key focus and has become as key as the financial health of an organisation. Employees are faced with a situation whereby cost is no longer the most important factor, particularly if they can't attract the right skill set. So the war for talent is intensifying. So most of the corporate studies have said that employees want to be back in the office 2 to 3 days. But when people say that they want to work in an office, this is much more from a collaborative point of view, and it's not about being chained to the desk 9 to 5. So organisations are becoming more efficient about eliminating tasks that waste resources. So I'm supporting several businesses who are reassessing their real estate requirements to accommodate this new hybrid working. Technology is being introduced to create purpose, culture shifts, and improve user experience when back in the office. So businesses with commercial real estate are questioning, do they need to be in more flexible options? How quickly do they need to mobilize and have everything ready to go? Is there a benefit of creating a bespoke workplace where they can create a thriving culture for their employees? Do they need to downsize, or do they need to take more space? Or alternatively, do they actually need an office at all? So to answer these questions, businesses are exploring ways to best serve employees and are using their real estate as a tool to attract talent. And user experience needs are at the very heart of the design and their decision-making process. So if you are a business owner, a manager, or a landlord, you really have to start listening to your end user. And that's the employees that are using the space on an everyday basis. Of course, not every business It's not one size fits all, everyone is unique, but what is evident is that technology has allowed us to work from anywhere and has created a more work-life balance. So as more companies offer flexibility in how their employees work, their real estate strategy is being examined to a high degree to balance that bottom line. So for businesses adopting the hybrid models where employees work from anywhere, it's important to really understand the financial pros and cons of what it actually means for a business that is faced with the decision on whether they take traditional space or co-working space. So with regards to the service offices, you typically pay a higher rate per square foot as you're paying for that flexibility, limited setup costs, no deposits on some locations, and management of the office. So many businesses believe because they have operated a 5,000 square foot floor plate historically, this is how much they require for a service office, which would result in a higher cost, perhaps at 26%. However, what they don't realise is that you don't need to have the kitchen facilities and meeting rooms. So this can reduce your square footage by sharing the communal amenities. So both for service offices and co-working space, it offers the chance to move from working remotely into a physical space. They both offer many benefits of having a home base for your business without the added burden that a traditional leasehold can bring. So based on individuals working 3 days from the office and 2 days from home, let's use my example of 62 as a head count. The indicative hybrid cost could reduce 25% of a company's bottom line. And if a business went that one step further to take co-working hybrid model, this could result in a 68% cost saving. So there are many businesses that are making this as the decision to reduce their footprint and take co-working facilities in several locations, which not only reduces the real estate costs of having a permanent office, but gives their employees a choice of where to work and perhaps reduces their commute time, but also offers them an alternative location to work instead of their kitchen table. So for businesses that are struggling to recruit the right skills and don't have an open checkbook, for an example, a fairly cost-effective, easy option could be VWorks, which is a co-working brand in the Village hotels. They have 20 locations throughout the UK, 3 locally, 1 in Chelmsford, 1 in Portsmouth and 1 in Basingstoke. And their memberships is around £120 per square foot. Sorry, £20 per person per month for a gym membership, access to the swimming pools and your co-working facility. So really ticking those health and wellbeing agendas. And we will find more spaces incorporate multi-purpose spaces where people can work and play. And we're certainly creating exactly that at GU30 in Liphook, which is a 62,000 square foot office scheme on 6 acres. And we're going to be creating a mini box park, yoga in the courtyards, a combination of office accommodation from service, co-working, and your conventional leases, all to give that kind of better work-life balance. And this will be really targeting on businesses that are looking to relocate into our region out of London, and again, just giving them a better work-life balance. So the transition to a hybrid model of working where employees are required to come to the office only a few times a week has put less demand on desk space and more on the experience. So this has given designers more room to play with, leading to the evolution of workspace into being more creative and less structured spaces. So retractable walls, flexible furniture, so that spaces can be easily repurposed, focus on green areas, yoga areas, studio space. But technology and sensors will also play a massive role in personalizing these areas and making them more attractive to users by having the data to track areas that are being underutilized or overutilized, and then businesses are able to easily adapt the space accordingly. So we have all felt the pressures of lockdown, whether you're a parent juggling homeschooling and having to cram work whilst they're sleeping, or living on your own and missing that connection with your colleagues around the coffee machine. Or perhaps you're living in a flat share where everyone is working from home, so the only quiet area is working in your bedroom, which you've already spent the last 12 hours in. So the isolation, lack of variation has had a real toll on many people's mental health and financial situations. So health and wellness are now at the forefront of the journey towards a post-COVID world. And this will be key for landlords and employers to have the end user in mind when considering office accommodation. So several surveys have asked employees what they want their office to look like when they return. And there was an understandable focus on health and well-being and outdoor areas. And I guess many of us have been embracing our daily walks, running, and other outdoor activities due to lockdown. And the health and productivity benefits of being able to enjoy nature is huge. And lucky for the South Coast, we are blessed with hundreds of acres of green space and 2 national parks. So the pandemic has provided a great opportunity for us to really set a new standard and to make it an enjoyable working environment. So wellness in the workplace is one of the top topics that I'm speaking to several clients about right now. And it's much more fundamental to our clients' objectives than ever before, particularly on a corporate level. So a recent study demonstrated that 89% plan to enhance their company's health and wellness strategies in the coming year. So building wellness reflects the impact that the physical workplace has on a person's physical and mental health. So for example, the lighting, air quality, noise levels, and materials that are being used. So the physical and social environment is the #1 determinant of your health. And we spend almost 90% of our lifetime indoors and 5% outdoors, which is absolutely crazy and something that I'm really keen to kind of reduce or increase. So we're in a much more human-centric environment, and we really need to design space with the end user in mind. So in terms of the short-term trends that we will see when we eventually return to the office, we will see a trend to reduce surface contact, installation of QR codes to open doors, order coffee, moving within the buildings, checking in, reducing densities possibly, increasing airflow, eliminating doors, so touch points, incorporating lighting that is in line with your circadian rhythm, bookable systems. And another trend that we will be finding is making the invisible visible. So we've obviously just experienced a global pandemic and we're faced with a virus that we can't see. So we have to shift to make things visible and provide access to matrix to track light and noise, but also building ventilation, air filtration, and cleaning. So PropTech and MedTech will be the next generation of smart buildings that will allow businesses to make real-time, data-driven decisions by optimizing outputs and minimizing the running costs. So I've had some great conversations, and one in particular is the head of corporate services for Fidelity, which is a global organization. And they've just developed an app that not only does a health screen check before it allows employees to book a desk, It will navigate you to your exact desk allocated in the building within a couple of feet. It will automatically inform your team members that they're scheduled to be in the office that day. So it really encourages other team members to come into the office, because there's nothing worse than you rocking up to your office and there only being 2 people there. But the interesting fact that they mentioned was that they are not downsizing any of their facilities, but they've redesigned their offices to have movable walls, to create bespoke space, flexible furniture, which can be adapted for different types of tasks. Soundproofing booths, as Zoom meetings are definitely here to stay, and creating immersive meeting rooms, which connects employees from all around the world, as well as the ones in the room. So just to finish, real estate cost is one of the most expensive costs on a company's balance sheet. The pandemic has adjusted our perspective to being able to work anywhere in the world. So there's some huge cost savings to be had, and the use of technology innovation to optimize our experience will be really key. So employees should be at the heart of the design, in the decision making, and they expect a safe, productive, and seamless experience wherever they work. The good news is that the pandemic has lessened the stigma related to remote working and career penalties. And many businesses are having to adapt their operations in order to create an inclusive working environment, whether they are working from home or the office. So thank you for your time. And my name is Nella Pang from Amiga RE.